I don't think it's any surprise to anybody that since becoming a mom, I have changed a lot. I talked about this in a recent video, how I used to cuss all the time on my channel and now I rarely say any cuss words. I've just become a completely different person. And my husband and I were talking about this yesterday about how everything has changed and how I like myself so much better now. And he completely agrees. I mean, and there has not been a short supply of hardships. If you have followed and know kind of what's been going on since having a child, we dealt with infertility for 15 years. I talk about that a lot. Actually, at the point we got pregnant was 15 years. That doesn't mean we were trying the entire time, but I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome and anovulation, which means I didn't ovulate, when I was 19. Consistently through and through straight for 5 years, going to reproductive endocrinologists, doing everything I possibly could to get pregnant. Other than IVF, we couldn't afford IVF at the time, so we just gave up, decided we were gonna be child-free people, and we were gonna live our lives that way. And then right when COVID happened, also I got pregnant, surprisingly, after years of infertility. While that was so exciting, and I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe this is actually happening, I was so set in my ways that motherhood blindsided me in a way that I never could have anticipated. Beating a dead horse at this point, but I wanted to say this because after becoming a mom, after never believing that I could, and having a baby literally in the middle of the pandemic, I experienced a level of struggle that I could not have understood had I not gone through it. The reason I wanted to talk about this today is because I asked on my Instagram, what do you guys want to talk about? And somebody said, what you miss about your pre-mom self, like my old self. And while there are some things that I do miss, there's a lot of things I don't. And I'm really surprised by that because I think a lot of times me trying to relate to other people going through things or struggling with things, it can come off as though I don't appreciate my life or that I don't like being a mom. That is not the case at all. I have had days where I'm like, I do not like this. But ultimately, overall, I would redo it 1,000 times over to be able to have the outcomes that I've had now. So I want to talk about, yeah, some things that I do miss about my pre-mom life, but some other things that I don't. And other ways I feel like I've grown as a person and just become overall better. Before we get into all of that, I'd like to thank today's sponsor, which is Parade. They have amazing bralettes, bras, underwear, different products, colors, shapes, fabrics. I have a set from them. It's got this little cutout in the bottom. And when I wore it, I actually wore it into the hot tub outside as a swimsuit. And my husband was like, damn, you need to get another one of those in every other color. I was like, feeling of a bra is probably one of my least favorite things, but Parade bras are very comfortable. They don't dig into me. I really love the different shapes and styles, and they're very comfortable. They have really high quality basics, affordable price. And have you ever seen a color that is more me than literally these? Are you kidding? Like, are you kidding? Okay, you cannot tell me this is not literally me in a bra. This is the Scoop with Power Mesh in the color Olive. Perfection. It's so good. Look at how absolutely zero back fat. I love it. This fabric, butter, absolute buttery soft. Like I'm talking, you will not find a more comfortable fabric than this. It feels like nothing. It feels like I'm literally wearing nothing. And look at these ones that I just got. These undies are so cute with that bra. There is this little mesh side cut out here. Also high-waisted, green, and butter. This is the Replay Bralette Scoop. This is in the shade Blushing Rose. Look how it absolutely does not cut into me at all. It's so comfortable and perfect. For me, it's like a t-shirt type of bra. Like I would 100% wear this with t-shirt because it doesn't give me any back fat at all. Look at that. It's so good. Especially after becoming a mom. I want comfort. I live for comfort. I'm not gonna live in things that are cutting me in half anymore. I'm just not doing it. And that is why I love these Parade products so much, because they are actually comfortable. They're actual butter. They're so soft and slinky. And like I said, it's like wearing nothing. If you guys are interested in checking out Parade, they sell out so fast, and I mean fast. So I'd highly recommend clicking the link down in the description. It's up here on the screen as well. Right now, you guys can get 30% off of your entire Parade order, no minimum purchase, using my code RAW30 at checkout. Again, that's 30% off of your entire order at Parade with code RAW30 at checkout. And I thank you so much again to Parade for sponsoring today's video, for continuing to partner with me. I literally love your products so much. And now we can hop back into the rest of the video. I've explained it a million times in the past. I struggled with postpartum depression and anxiety. I had a mental break at about 10 months postpartum. I had severe insomnia. I had to take multiple medications. I was doing therapy 3 days a week, feeling dissociated, derealization, depersonalization, experiencing so much difficulty. And in that time, dealing with a lot of trauma, not just from the birth trauma, but a lot of things I've never talked about on YouTube, things that you can't believe. I mean, just like horrifying life and family trauma, personal stuff that has gone on that I've never spoken about. I was actually talking to my husband about this yesterday. We were driving in the car. We were driving home from just a wonderful evening that we had. We had a lovely dinner out together. We went and rode bikes. I went to the pottery studio. We just had a wonderful day. And we were talking about who we are now versus who we were. Even after all the things that I just talked about, I was like, I wouldn't take back any of them because I actually like who I am now. And I wanted to make a video today talking about how even some of the worst things that you could ever imagine happening, like my mom dying, you know, basically in front of me, losing family members, all of them. I have almost no family left. Just a lot of different things. I wouldn't take any of it back because all of those things that I've gone through have ultimately made me a much more compassionate person. Like, had I never gone through the mental stuff that I've gone through, I would not be who I am today. I will say that for myself personally, I used to be not selfish in a way. I just find that I was used to doing what I wanted to do all day long, every second of every day. And that was probably the hardest part for me, was having to sacrifice my time, my life, my desires, my wants for somebody else. And I think that's why in the beginning, before I became a mom, that's why I struggled so much, because I wasn't used to doing that. I wasn't used to I mean, obviously with work and things like that, like you have to do things you don't want to do, but it's not something where you clock out at the end of the day. There's no clocking out. It's literally all day, every second of every moment. And I think that that's something that I didn't really understand until I became a mom, because I didn't know how much time it actually takes. And it's 100% of your time all the time, every single day. And so that for me was probably the hardest transition. But what good came of that? What good came of it for me is, well, so much, but I am so much more selfless now. I have no pressure on my days and times and things that I need to do. Like before, it would really bother me because I'd be like, okay, I need to go do this. I want to do this. Has a time crunch. Okay, well, he's not going to sleep. And then I'm going to be, now I'm just like, what will be, will be. I live my life sort of by the motto of whatever comes of today was what was meant to come of today. And some days are gonna suck. Some days are gonna be not what you want them to be. Some days are going to be tears and frustration, but it is just that day. And of course, I'm only speaking for myself here. I know that, you know, sometimes when you make these kind of comments, sometimes people get a little irritated. I can only speak for myself. Some people have an extremely easy time with parenting. Some people have an extremely difficult time. And I think it's very personality based. I know that for myself, my personality is such that I am somebody who, I never sit still. I never relax. I like to do things always. I always want to be doing something different or changing things around, or I don't ever seem all that satisfied with where I'm at. And I'm just a very, not high strung necessarily, but sort of type of person. Whereas I have other friends who are just more laid back, they're chill, they kind of vibe. And you also don't get to choose the type of kid that you're going to have. You don't know what kind of kid you're going to have. You could have a kid that's really high strung like yourself or really chill and laid back. And you really don't know. But if it is a clashing type of personality, that might be a hardship for you, whereas it might not be for somebody else. And I think a lot of times people hear this stuff and they're like, speak for yourself. I obviously am. However, it so varies for each individual person. You don't know how it's going to be for you because you don't know what kind of kid you're going to have. And it doesn't even necessarily just have to be a kid. Hardship in life in general will shape who we are as people. But I do find that had my mom not died when I was 16, I wouldn't have dyed my hair black out of angst. I wouldn't have gotten piercings out of angst. And I wouldn't have met my now husband, who this year we will be celebrating 20 years together. I'm not saying that it was a good thing that my mom died. What I'm saying is out of something bad can come something good. And if I had never met Zach, we wouldn't have our lovely son who is adding sunshine to this world. He is an absolute joy of my life. And I struggled in the beginning, like struggled bad. There have been days where I'm like, I do not like being a mom because it's hard for me personally. I disagree with that now. I actually think no matter how hard this has been, going through bouts of insomnia that have made me feel like I was going through a psychosis and feeling like I was going actually crazy, going through such bad panic attacks and anxiety that I wasn't sure if I'd ever feel normal again. The worry, the fear, the everything that comes with being a parent has only made me stronger, has only made me a better person to be compassionate and kind to other people who might be going through that same thing. And that's the thing. I couldn't have known before, so I couldn't be that support for people. But where it has improved me is that I now am somebody that if anybody needs help, I will drop anything to come help you because I understand, specifically moms. I know how hard things are. I know how difficult things can be. I will always be there to be a support for somebody who needs help, who needs support, who needs encouragement, because I get it. And so I couldn't have learned that compassion or experienced it on that level until I experienced it myself. I used to be very resistant to medication. Before becoming a mom, I wouldn't take a Tylenol if I needed one because I just was nervous about the side effects. I was so nervous about everything. I had to succumb and I had to be somebody that was okay with medication because I got to a level of anxiousness where I couldn't sleep. I was physically ill. And it removed my fear of medication because I realized that what a beautiful thing medication is, to be there to help us when we need it. Thank God for medication. I don't have that fear of medication anymore. So that was ultimately really beneficial to me to make my fear, make me not have to be in the driver's seat, make me realize you have to relinquish some control to get some help. But that's the thing. Had I remained fearful of medication, I wouldn't have been able to give people the help that they need to be able to get on medication that are fearful. Like because I shared online about my difficulty around so many things regarding parenting and those struggles, other people have reached out to me and said, hey, I started medication because of you and I'm so much better. Hey, that couldn't have happened if I wasn't able to remove my fear and wasn't able to openly talk about these things. I want to be somebody that can be helpful to other people if needed. And that's always what I've wanted to do here on my YouTube channel. I always want to be helpful when somebody needs something, when somebody feels like they don't have any support or help. I want to be that voice to say like, no, you are going to be okay, because I truly in those moments did not think I would. I did not believe I would. And I'm here to tell you the saying, this too shall pass, sounds like nothing when it's going. Everything passes and nothing is forever. And I am now in such a better place mentally. I'm in such a better place. I just cannot even begin to tell you. And it is possible and will happen. Like if you're going through a hard time, you won't always forever. You can't forever. And so the hard things that I've been through have taught me so much, have made me so compassionate towards people who are in different situations than me. Like I have nothing but compassion for people. And I always try to see their side, and I always try to do what is loving and kind and helpful for people. And that is because I've gone through hardship. And I think had I never had much hardship, I might be much more of a piece of shit. And so, you see people out there and they always say, as cringe as it sounds, diamonds are made under pressure. And that is true. Like pressure is what grows us. Falling off of your bike is what teaches you how to ride your bike better. Nobody's ever going to try hard unless life gives you some sort of pushback. And that's why sometimes adversity is a helpful tool in getting you into a better position in your life. And I find that sometimes when you lack that, there's lack of growth, and maybe you don't understand the position that you have and be grateful and thankful for what you have because you don't know what life could be like any other way. So I'm not saying we need to go through hardships, but I am saying that what do I miss about my pre-child life? The only thing I can say is time, but nothing. I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't go back. He is the light of my life, and he makes my life much better worth living. And I am a better person because of him, and because he exists, and because I've had to go through the hardships, and because I was meant, I think, to go through a difficult time to make me appreciate the easy days more. I am so much more appreciative. When I have a good day, it is like I'm living in bliss. Like I can just feel the gratitude exuding from me, because it's like when I had the flu and I felt like I was going to die, and I'm not exaggerating. It was literally horrific. There were moments where I was like, I will never take my life for granted again. And since then, I have not taken my life for granted. Every day that I don't feel like I have the flu, I feel like is a day to remember, is a beautiful day. But had I not felt what it feels like to feel so terrible, I don't know that I would appreciate my good days as much. I'm not saying that if you are struggling, like you can wallow a little bit. It does feel nice sometimes to just sit and be like, this does suck. But to remember too that, man, in the future, you will look back and it'll be hard to remember how bad you did feel. And hopefully those bad moments do grow us. And I will say for myself personally, they have helped me. They have grown me. I've become a better person because of them. I am more, like I said, compassionate. I'm more understanding. I'm more carefree. If I don't have plans, I'm like, the answer is yes. I'm a much more of a yes man now. I'm way more apt to try new things. I'm way more patient. Way more patient. Oh my God, my patience before, non-existent. I needed things immediately. And now, oh my God, if something takes 6 months, it takes 6 months. Like it just is. Things just, you can't have you can have unrealistic expectations after becoming a parent, but you quickly realize how if I am trying to be in control of everything, I will lose my effing mind, because you cannot control something that is out of your control. And another human being is not controllable. And his personality may clash with mine, and we may have hard days. And it is what it is. There's just going to be hard days. And I've survived every single one of my hardest days so far. And that's something that I have to remember. It's very, very hard, because I am somebody who likes things very controlled, and not being able to control certain aspects of my life has made me have to sit in that discomfort. And it has ultimately made me, I think, a much more calm and better person for it. And so I just wanted to make this video to say that, because I think it's normal for us to miss parts of our lives pre-children. Like, of course, life is, at least for me, it was much more, I do whatever I want whenever I wanted. If I wanted to go eat whatever I want whenever I wanted, alone, watch TV, blah, blah, blah. My life is richer now and fuller now in a different way. And I do miss certain aspects. I miss my husband. I miss being able to go on dates with my husband and just like go out to dinner and blah, blah, blah. But I would trade those in a fraction of a second for what I have now. What I have now is, my son is the best parts of me and none of the worst parts. Like, he's literally everything. And he's the most amazing human being I've ever met. Like, I just am obsessed with him and I love him so much. Yes, there are hard parts and I do miss certain aspects. I'll have days where I'll say like, man, it used to be so easy. But then I'll have other days where I'll look at him and he's riding his bike and he's proud of himself and he's got such confidence and he's just such an amazing little human being. And I look at him and I'm like, oh my God, I would give up the rest of my whole existence just for this moment, you know? So I do miss certain aspects, but I don't miss them enough to ever want to go back. The time is the main thing, and the freedom to just go where you want, when you want to go. I think maybe I'm Stockholmed a little bit. Stockholm syndrome. I'm like, no, I like this life better. It's like, do you actually like it better? Or did you convince yourself you do because you have no choice? I'm pretty sure I actually like it better. I do. It's way more fulfilling for me personally. It's way more soul gratifying. Wish I could start all over again and redo it with what I know now so I could enjoy his babyhood instead of stressing it away, because I did. But it's okay. You live and you learn, and you can't know until you know. And I'm just gonna do better every day from here on out and do my best. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and it was just really just a chat about how things change. You know, I'm a completely different person than I once was. I used to be very potty mouth, very not a nihilist, but I was just very negative about a lot of things, and I wasn't very hopeful for the future. Felt like, what's the point? And now I feel like this is the point. Like, life is the point. Living is the point. A mundane day is the point. Stopping and smelling a flower does matter. Like, what else could there be? Sometimes it does feel in life, and I've struggled with this in the past. I've talked a lot about this. Like, you're always looking for the next best thing. And I've found that in parenting, I'm kind of aware now that this is the next best thing. Whereas before I was always looking forward to when we blank, then I'll, and I don't do that as much. I feel like I'm kind of in the good old days and I'm aware of it. Whereas I think sometimes people aren't aware of it until they're over. I am aware that I am in them right now. And so I'm trying to soak them in. You can't actually soak something in as much as you wish you could, and that is a painful experience too. That's why they call parenting bittersweet, because it is exactly that. And I thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will see you at my next video. Bye.